So next up, we will walk through the next section, talking about remaining flexible to support the next big thing. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to contend that, perhaps some of you have integrated hard tokens in the past. Typically what we see is, it's a small number of protected resources, particularly usually a small number of users as well. It's a bit of integration work and usually some initial effort to register or link the devices. Some folks have also made the step to using digital certificates. Similarly, it tends to be a small number of users and resources. Tends to be some integration work, and again, the registration work, you have to map the particular certificate to the particular user. It never gets pretty. And then you also have to define policies. So these seem to be the first two steps that I've seen a number of folks take as far as strong authentication. But what we're seeing more and more of is clients saying, well, I've got this company who has their tokens, but the board is now thinking that we have too much invested in one company. Is there any way we could switch to another provider's tokens? How easy is that, right? Or can some users have, 50% of our users have this token and 50% have another token? Sometimes that's easy, sometimes it's not. Other questions might be, why do users have to wait before they can link their ID to the device? What's the holdup, right? Why can't we get it out quicker to them? Or is it easy to support a new or different certificate authority? Or can we check some users' passwords in LDAP while checking others in Active Directory? Right? These are probably pretty common questions that maybe you've heard. And nowadays, what are we hearing? We're also hearing, hey, can you use the mobile phone that each user already has, right, to be a second factor? Hey, maybe we can avoid the cost of a hard token and the management and the revocation and the battery life cycle and all that by just letting users have their phones and using a smartphone as to provide the second factor. And by the way, can we include risk-based, or do we want to include transaction validation? Can we make it easy for the users to register their phones, right? Or maybe we should be pursuing biometrics. These are probably the things that are coming in. They're probably coming in faster and faster. So, my point here is it's moving quickly. Be prepared. With the iPhone 5S, I've got a fingerprint reader. Yeah, Apple hasn't opened up the API today in this first release, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do 6 months or a year down the road, right? When they open that up and your business team comes into you and says, hey, we want to provide a fingerprint scan as a layer of authentication, what would it make that happen in our enterprise? And you'd be like, ooh, that's a lot of work, right? But the point is, if you build around a versatile authentication such as Trust Builder, you can look to us to be integrating the next biggest thing as opposed to looking to your own team to integrate it, right? So the idea is to avoid having to, have you and each application be integrating low-level APIs and worrying about fixed packs and adapting to repositories, et cetera, et cetera. With a centralized solution, you can kind of focus on high-level security services, let the security tool handle fixed packs and upgrades, keep the repository structure hidden, and ultimately allow your application teams to be focusing on their business objectives, not on minutia of security and authentication details and trying to integrate mobility into your environment. So the key features of the Trust Builder solution are basically to provide an enterprise security services platform, provide an out-of-the-box solution that allows you to exploit virtually any authentication mechanism out there, as well as mobile. Make it easy to implement. Make it easy to implement your policy. Provide a robust, scalable, solution that's been used in multi-million user communities out there today. And ultimately, not only help you with your problem today, right, whether that's enabling vascular tokens or enabling mobility and stronger authentication for mobility, but to do it in a way that you're set for tomorrow, so that you're really, future-proofed, if you will, so that you're ready for integrating the next technologies. And with that, I'm going to wrap up. Again, my name is Daniel Tumsuden. My contact information is here. Feel free to reach out to me after the webinar if you have any additional questions. Once again, thanks for your time, and talk to you soon.